Hey guys, okay, welcome to another active stretch and recovery day with core moves. So today's workout is Pilates, and it's Pilates for strength. So it's not one of those slow and comfortable ones. You are going to be working hard today, but not hard in the same way that we do with our HIIT workouts. So we're going to do a lot of thighs, a lot of core, a lot of shoulders, and a lot of glutes. You're really going to love it. It's very much a strength building Pilates routine, no impact, and I hope that you enjoy it. So let's just get started. We're going to start standing up on our mat with our feet in lateral rotation. So use your glutes to get that spin out from the hip all the way down through the knee and into the feet. So heels face in, toes face out. Feet are really nice and wide, so shoulder distance or wider. And let's just check in with our body while we're there. So once you've got your base, make sure that turnout comes from the glutes. And then just peel your heels away from the floor, point your toes. Find your core, find your balance, then lower those heels, and then let's bend those knees out to the side. So get a slight posterior tilt here or tucking under, and then bring your hands out to the sides of your ears, elbows out nice and wide. We're just going to gently bend over to the left side, reach the hand, pull the hand back in, come into center. Reach both hands, straighten the legs, come back down. Hands back to the ears, this time bend to the right, reach the left hand overhead, bring it back into center, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, grow tall. One more time to the left, come on down, over the left, belly in, flex from the core, bend, reach, bring it back into center, straighten and reach, and down, flex to the right, reach that left hand, back to center, stretch, and reach. Now from here, we're going to do a little more dynamic. So we're going to come into our second, step into center, into second, step into center. So you can bring your hands into prayer center and step into center, step into center. So it's a lateral squat in that lateral turnout. Keep breathing, letting your heart rate come up, spinning the thighs out from the glutes, working through the heels and the back of the legs, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, breathing, pushing the palms of the hands together, creating that nice strong Pilates breath in through the nose and out through that resisted breath, squeezing your thighs together as you come into center. The last one to the right, let's come down and pulse. Relax the toes, push them away from the heels. Breathe, let that heart rate come back down again. Really intense on the legs to pulse in the sumo. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep pushing those hands together. And then stand up and reach. Let's turn those feet into parallel. Hands come back to our prayer center. This time we're going to do this in parallel. So you're going to step in to your center and then out to your squat, into center, out to your squat. Keep your legs parallel the whole time. So your toes, your feet, and your knees are facing the same direction. Keep that chest lifted as you squat, sitting the hips back, opening up through the hip joint. Keep pressing those palms into each other or warming up the thighs here, letting the heart rate come up a little bit, but without any impact, any pressure on our joints. Knees are tracking over the toes, so we're maybe not coming as wide as we did in our sumo squat. Last one to the right, last one to the left, step to the right, and let's pulse. Like you're sitting down on a chair, feet wider than in a normal squat, but toes are pointed forward, knees are going over toes, palms are pressing together. And then turn your palms away from your chest, reach them out in front, hands come overhead, straighten the legs, circle the arms wide, back into our center. We're going to come into an isometric chair pose now. So your heels are directly under your sit bones, and you're going to slide the knees forward into your squat so your hands can touch your knees. Then hold the squat, draw the belly in, lengthen the spine from the tail to the crown of the head, and then lift the hands overhead, turn the palms so they face forward, and draw the elbows down and back into your cactus arms, and then reach them overhead. Draw them back, pull the navel in, waking up the back of the shoulders here. So we're growing long in the spine, and we're using our lats and those muscles behind the shoulders to really draw those arms down and back. And push them forward, pull them back like you're diving forward, and then squeezing those elbows into your hips, reaching up one last time for me, squeeze, and reach, and then fold your belly towards your thighs into a forward fold. Just take a second here to regroup your breath. And then we're going to drop our hips to our heels into a squat. Arms reach up, push through the legs, all the way up, little baby back bend, salute the sun, extend the spine, and then dive the body forward into a fold. Drop the heels to the hips, lengthen the spine back to the arms overhead, push into the heels, drive yourself up, little baby back bend, dive the body into your forward fold. Deep squat, lift the arms in the sternum, push, back bend, extend the spine, dive forward, squat, reach those hands up and push into the floor so your hands are driving up towards the ceiling, then lengthen the spine, and then dive the chest, lengthen the hamstrings, come back into that deep squat, reach and push all the way up, baby back bend, and this time just come still into center. We're going to add a lateral leg raise, so we're going to bring our hands back to that prayer center. You're going to squat, push into the left leg, lift the right to the side. Squat, lift. Stay on the right. Squat, lift. If you need to, you can bring your hands to your hips for these. You want to keep your body growing nice and tall. You can even reach both hands overhead if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more through the shoulders and the spine. Make sure your foot is landing in parallel underneath your hips every time, and you're lifting using the side line of the glutes. Keep breathing, pulling your navel in through the nose, resisted breath through the mouth. Don't let your waistline collapse as you lift that leg. Last one, bring it in, fold the body forward, release the hands. Take a few seconds here to regain your breath. And then on your next exhale, drop your hips to your heels, lift those hands, push on up, salute the sun, dive the body forward. Squat low, lift the sternum, lift the arms, push into the heels, drive yourself up tall, extend the spine, dive the body forward. Inhale, drop those hips, lift the hands. Exhale, push into the feet. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, dive it forward. Inhale, hips come down, lift the chest. Exhale, push yourself up. Inhale, baby back bend. Exhale, dive it forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, push. Inhale, back. And come back into our center. We're going to do our lateral leg lifts on the left side now. So get your feet hip distance, pull the navel in, relax the shoulders, hands into prayer or overhead, up to you. And then you're going to squat, push into the right leg, lift the left out to the side, bring it back under the hip, squat, lift. So in Pilates, our squat is called a plie, but it's a squat. In yoga, it's called chair. And drop those sit bones. Really try and concentrate on that hip distance between those knees tracking over toes, lifting through the sternum, pushing the palms together, trying not to collapse in that right hip, letting the heart rate come up with these, breathing in through the nose, shoulders away from our ears, pull the navel in, find that connection with your pelvic floor. Last one, lift, and then foot underneath, reach the hands up overhead, dive the body forward. Stay for a minute, let the heart come back under control, relax the head away from the neck and shoulders, let the spine decompress, and then on your next exhale, sit your hips towards your heels, inhale, reach your arms, exhale, push yourself up, baby back bend, inhale, exhale, dive. Squat low, reach up high, push, extend, dive, lengthen those hamstrings as you dive forward. Sit, reach the hand, lengthen the sternum, power through the legs, lift, and glide down. Last two, sit, reach, lengthen, push, extend, dive the body down. Last one, lift the sternum, drop the hips, push, salute the sun, dive the body down and stay in your forward fold. Breathe in through the nose into the back of the rib cage. Resisted breath out through the mouth. And then soften your knees till you can bring your hands to the floor. Push your hands into the floor, fingertips facing forward, and your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Widen the shoulder blades, and then when you're ready, send your right foot back, push the heel away from the hips, send the left foot back, and then lift the head, drop the hips, and come into your plank. Pull the belly in, walk the feet back in, into your forward fold. Push, soften the knees, push your hands into the floor, step your right foot back, step your left foot back, drop the hips, lift the head, widen the shoulders into your plank. One more time, round through the spine, walk the feet back in, forward fold. Soften the knees till your hands are nice and strong, shoulders wide. Step back with the right, send the heel away, step back with the left, send the heel away, drop the hips, lengthen the body, pull the navel in, and then drop your knees to the floor, nice and wide, almost the width of your mat. Uncurl your toes and push your hips back onto your heels. Stretch your hands forward, look towards your hands. And then use your glutes to push yourself forward into an inclined plank. Open your feet out to the width of your mat. Bend your elbows and bring your belly to the floor in our prone position. So just take a minute to adjust yourself on the floor. Pull your belly away from the floor. Maybe put your hands under your forehead. And then pick up your right foot and lengthen that toe away from your hip and then place it back on the mat. Then pick up the left foot, lengthen it away from the hip and push it down into the mat. Now squeeze your glutes, tuck your tail under, pull your glutes back down towards your heels so your belly comes away from the floor. Now maintain that length in the spine and gently lift the right leg away from the floor, really squeezing through that right glute and lower it down. Push the right foot into the floor, lift the left foot away from the floor using the left glute and lower it down. Lift and lengthen on the right again, finding that length all the way from the hip bone to the big toe and lay it down. Again on the left, so push into the right foot, squeeze the left glute and reach it away from the hips and pull it down. Keep lifting the pelvic floor up towards the belly button, relaxing the shoulders, lift. Keeping the shoulders nice and wide, lay it down. Last one on the left, lift and reach, and lay it down. And relax the shoulders again. This time we're going to pull the right heel in towards the bum, pointing that toe, waking up the hamstring. Now flex the ankle so your toes are facing away, your heel is in close to your bum. Squeeze it as hard as you can, point the toe and reach that leg away. Flex the ankle, squeeze the heel towards your bum. Point and reach one more time. Flex and squeeze, keeping that knee hovering off the ground. Point and reach and relax. Pull the belly away from the floor, squeeze the glutes. Pull the left heel in towards the glutes. Squeeze it in, flex that ankle. Now we're going to point and reach, leave that knee floating off of the floor, and then flex it in, squeezing that heel in, really waking up the hamstrings. Point and reach as long as you can, flex and squeeze. Point and reach, find that length, keep pulling that belly away from the floor, flex and squeeze. And then point and reach and lower the whole leg down. Slide your hands back in line with your chest, and then push into your hands, push your hips back onto your heels and stretch your hands forward. So you can stay extended, this is your extended child's pose, reaching and lengthening towards your hands. Or if you want to, you can drop your elbows, drop your head, bring your breath back under control. And then when you're ready, pull your belly away from the floor, rounding through the spine. We're going to come onto our back. So flip yourself over onto your back, lengthen your whole spine, your shoulders, everything onto the floor. And then you're going to lift the right leg into tabletop. So pull the foot off the floor, and you've got that 90 degree at the hip, 90 at the knee. And then pull your ribs to your hips to your ribs to push the lower back into the floor. And then you're going to float the left leg up to the right. Now maintain that hip distance between them. And you should feel that tension on your abdominals, but not in the neck. And we're going to put our hands on the front of our knees. And we're going to push into our knees while we push our knees into our hands. And hold it there, finding that resistance in the abdominals. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Grab onto the back of the knees. Flex up and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the head and shoulders. Hands come to the front of the knees. Push into the knees. Push the knees into the hands. Resist it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Grab on the back of the knees. Nod the chin. Flex the torso up. Face is looking between the knees. 4, 3, 2, 1. And roll yourself down. Hug your knees into your chest. Wrap your hands over the top of your shins. And feel that massage in the front of your hip bones as you squeeze your thighs in towards your chest. But try and lengthen the back of your pelvis onto the mat so you don't compress the discs in the back of your lumbar spine. And then when you're ready, release your knees, bring your feet back flat on the floor. So you've got a nice gentle bend at the hip, nice gentle bend at the knee, and your feet are parallel and hip distance apart, so about the width of an apple between your knees. Relax your shoulders. I'm going to float my hands up so that you can see the movement in my spine, but we're just going to do 3 pelvic tilts. So roll the ribs to the hips, squeeze the glutes, push the lower back into the floor. Inhale, lengthen away back to your neutral spine with that little bit of space under the lumbar spine. Exhale, lengthen the whole spine, flattening it into the floor. Inhale, lengthen back to your neutral, sending the pubic bone away from the navel. Exhale, last time, pushing the lower back into the floor. Inhale, lengthening away. Now slide your heels in closer to your hips. Hands are down, palms facing the floor so they can just touch your heels. And then you're going to push that lower back into the floor, lengthening the spine. Pull the ribs towards the hips, squeeze the glutes, pushing the heels, and roll your spine away from the floor into your long bridge line. Inhale, exhale, roll your spine back down 1 vertebrae at a time, massaging each vertebrae, releasing to neutral. Inhale, exhale, curl yourself back up, all the way up to that long glute bridge. Relax your shoulders, lift your pelvic floor. Inhale at the top, exhale, roll yourself down, pulling the body down with the core, and then releasing to your neutral. 1 more time. Exhale, roll yourself up, lengthen all the way up, hold it there, and then roll yourself down, all the way down, lengthen back to neutral. Watch those knees aren't wobbling around. We're going to roll up and hold it up this time. So stay up nice and high, soften the sternum, widen the shoulders, and then gently pull the right foot away from the floor till tabletop. And then bring the foot back to the floor, articulate through your toe ball and heel, squeeze the heel into the floor, push into the right foot, and tabletop the left leg. Draw it back to the floor, articulate toe ball, heel, push into that heel and float the right leg. Keep your torso as still as possible as you alternate these toe taps with your hips lifted away from the floor. Try and really push into the heels to keep that lift in the glutes. The connection in the belly long from the sternum all the way to the pubic bone. Nothing is changing in the torso. We're just working the legs and the glutes, and we've got an isometric hold in the abs. That's it. Last time on the right. Last time on the left. And then roll the spine down, pass through the imprint to that neutral, and hug your knees into your chest. Turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the left. Back to center. Let's bring those feet back in line for another glute bridge series. So heels are 1 hand distance away from the bottom. Inhale, exhale, push the lower back into the floor. Squeeze the glutes, roll all the way up to your bridge. Now we're going to hold it in the bridge and we're going to do a climb with our legs 1 at a time. So you're going to drop the right knee out to the side like you're opening a door and then squeeze it in. Drop the left knee out to the side. Squeeze it in. Don't let the hip drop with the knee as we alternate these clamps. We're using the glutes and the core to stabilize us, keeping our hips as still as possible, keeping the pelvic floor drawn in, squeezing those glutes even more to open the knee out to the side and close it in and to the left. And squeeze and breathe. Keep it all nice and lifted one last time on the right. Pulling it in one last time on the left. Bring it in and roll back down. Hug your knees into your chest. Turn your head to the right. And turn your head to the left. And into center. Bring those feet back into your stance for your bridge and roll your spine away from the floor. Pick your right leg up to that tabletop and just keep that pressure on the left. And we're going to reach that leg long away from the hip. So straighten the leg, point the toe, and then bend it back in close to the chest, but don't change the shape of the spine. Reach it away for 2. Pulling it in. Reach it away for 3. Pull it in and then place it down on the floor. Don't drop those hips as you pull the left knee in. Get that balance working through the right glute and then reach that leg away. Straighten the whole leg, point the toe, energy through the whole front of the body. Pull that knee in close, waking up the belly. Reach it away, keep that glute connected so your hips stay nice and high. Pull it in, that's it. Reach it away, you're doing great. Pulling it in gently, pulling that navel towards your spine, and then place that foot down on the floor. Squeeze both glutes. And roll the spine down one vertebrae at a time. And then pull the knees into the chest. And turn your head to the right. And turn your head to the left. And into center. Now we're going to connect our toes and turn our knees out to the side in a diamond shape. And then bring our feet to the floor. So we want this nice wide diamond, but we're not letting our knees just drop to the side. We're supporting them so they don't go any wider than our shoulders. And then flex your toes towards your face, so your dorsiflexion in the ankles. And we're going to roll back up into that glute bridge, but using the hamstrings this time and finding that real hamstring connection. Inhale at the top. And then exhale to roll the spine down. Tap that lumbar spine and then just roll straight back up. Rolling it down. Tap the lower back, but don't release your neutral. Roll back up. Rolling down. Try not to wobble side to side. Keep pushing those heels together. Squeezing the glutes. Squeezing the hamstrings. Really working the back line of the body here, guys. Roll it up. Last one, roll all the way down. Release to neutral. Pull the knees together and hug the knees into your chest. Turn your head to the right. Turn your head to the left. Into center. And this time we're going to bring the feet to the floor, but walk them away a little bit. So we've got a nice comfortable bend at the hip. Nice comfortable bend at the knee. And our knees have that apple between them. Reach your hands up to the ceiling. And then bend your elbows and bring your fingertips so they just touch the outside edge of your ears. Now don't pull on the head, but on your exhale, you're going to nod your chin and then begin to roll the chest away from the floor, keeping your belly long and neutral and look between your knees. Exhale, roll the spine back down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, roll yourself up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll yourself down. This time, reach your hands when you come up. Roll yourself up. Inhale, reach the hands towards your feet. Exhale, everything comes back down. Inhale, exhale, nod the chin, roll it up, ab prep, reach those hands. Bend the hands, bring it on down, that's it. Exhale, nod the chin, flex up and reach. And this time, turn your palms to face the floor. Really dig into those abdominals and see if you can pull yourself all the way up. Grab on the back of your thighs if you need to. Come all the way up to seated. Slide the feet away a little bit. Keep those shoulders away from the ears, down and back. And we're going to roll ourselves down halfway. Come back a little bit. Hold it there and breathe. Push your big toes and your heels into the floor to keep those feet down. Roll back a little bit more. Hold it there. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Engage your lats. Inhale there, exhale, roll back a little bit more. Your lower back hasn't touched the floor there. Hug that navel in towards the spine. Pull your shoulders down and back, roll back a little bit more. Lower back on the floor. Inhale, exhale, roll up a little bit. Hold it there. Exhale, pull it up a little bit more. Keep those shoulders down. Pull up a little bit more. Maintain that curve in the spine. We're still not on top of those sit bones yet. And then this time all the way up and stack your spine. Bring your hands in front of your forehead so that they're just touching each other. They're just folded one over the other and your elbows are out wide to the side. We're going to roll the spine back behind the sit bones again and then turn the body to the right. Come into center, lengthen the body up. Curl back behind the sit bones. So you're almost on your tailbone. Turn your body to your left. Nice and slow with control. Don't let that left knee come into the midline of the body as you twist. Sit up nice and tall. Roll it back. Turn to the right. Twist from the bottom of the spine to the crown of the head like a corkscrew. Lift your body up nice and long. Grow long in that spine. Exhale, push those big toes into the floor. Feel like you're dragging your heels towards your hips to engage the back of the legs. Don't let those knees wobble around as you twist and then lengthen. Waking up those back extensors. Last set. Roll it back. Twist to the right. Center and lift. Roll it back. Twist to the left. Center and lift, reach your arms long and roll all the way down. Keep those shoulders away from the ears all the way to the floor. Head comes down, tabletop your right leg. Push the lower back into the floor, tabletop your left leg. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Now from here, grab on the back of your knees. Inhale, exhale, roll the spine away from the floor, from the chest, so that we're up in this curved ball position. Now we're going to reach our left leg long and lower it towards the floor, but don't touch the floor. Pull the right knee in. Inhale, exhale, switch legs. Inhale, exhale, switch legs. Stay flexed up. Inhale, exhale, switch legs. Inhale, exhale, switch legs. And switch. And switch. And switch. This time, pull them both in. Bring your hands behind your head. Stay flexed up, but drop down a little bit so that your shoulder blades touch the floor. Now we're going to reach that left leg long. Twist the body to the right side. Inhale into center. Exhale. Twist to the left side. Reach the right leg long. Inhale into center. Exhale. Twist to the right. Reach the left leg. Inhale into center. Stay flexed up. And then twist. So take your time with these. You don't have to go at the same pace as me. You want to keep those abdominals on fire and feel like you're reaching your armpit towards your knee, not your elbow. So we're not just splaying our elbows around. We're lifting and twisting, using those abdominals. Stay curled up. Twist to the left. This is all about our strength today. Into center. Using Pilates to create that nice, long, strong body. Into center, last one to the left. Into center. And then stay flexed up. Bring your head down for a minute if you need to. Otherwise, just stay flexed up. And we're going to reach both toes towards the floor. And pull them in. Now, if you need to, you can bring your head and shoulders down. And have your palms flat on the floor as you reach those toes away to protect your lower back. So keep pushing your lower back into the mat. Otherwise, we are flexed up. Hands behind the shoulders or behind the ears. Tap those toes towards the floor and pull them in nice and strong. Inhale to reach the toes and the knees away from you. Exhale to pull them back in. Inhale, these are hard. These are really, really, really hard. And pull them in. Inhale, reach away. Come on, belly on fire. Pull those ribs down to the hips. Don't jam your chin into your chest. Last one, reach. And pull it in. Hug your knees in. Send your toes up to the ceiling and then rock yourself forward. Bring your feet onto the floor. Open them up, hip to shoulder distance. Bring your hands behind you and transfer the weight to your heels. So you're in this deep, low squat again. And then keep your belly glued to your thighs as you straighten your legs and come into a forward fold. Just take a deep breath here for a minute. And then drop your hips back to your heels. Hug yourself into a little ball. Exhale, straighten your legs, tip the head forward, stretch your hamstrings. Inhale, bend the knees, belly to the thighs, crunch into a little ball. Inhale, last time, exhale, straighten those knees, forward fold, stretch the back of the legs, the hamstrings. Inhale, drop the hips. Exhale, forward fold. Now soften your knees till you can bring your hands firmly on the floor. Push those hands into the floor, fingertips facing forward, shoulders nice and wide. And then step your right leg back, push the heel away from the hips. Power through the shoulders, pull the navel in as you step the left foot back. And then lengthen to your plank. Hold your plank really nice and strong. Long from your heels, up through the back of the hips, all the way to the back of the shoulders and the crown of the head, through the front of the sternum, the middle of the navel, the pelvic floor, and then drop your right knee, drop your left knee, uncurl your toes, push your hips back to your heels into your extended child's pose. Look towards your hands, breathe, feel like you're lengthening the sides of your waistline, stretching your hips back. And then exhale, push yourself forward again. Come into your 4-point kneeling, so hands under shoulders, fingertips face forward, knees under hips. Send your right foot back, send your left foot back into that plank. We're going to scan ourselves in our plank. So spread your shoulder blades really nice and wide away from each other. Lengthen your ears away from your shoulders. Pull your ribcage down towards your hips. Squeeze your glutes. Send your heels away. Stretch out the back of the calves. Contract your quads, drop your knees if you need to, but come into that long line. Otherwise, hold those knees up. Really challenge yourself in your plank. Keep pushing those hands on the floor, lifting the belly away from it. You got this. 10 seconds left. Lift your pelvic floor, breathe. And then fold the right knee in, uncurl the foot, fold the left knee in, into our 4-point kneeling. Okay, so in our quadruped position, we're going to do a couple cat-cows. So your spine is long and straight and neutral. And then you're going to begin to tilt the pelvis forward and feel like you're stretching your sternum away from your navel. Pull your shoulders down and back and look to the front of the room. Then as you exhale, you're going to tuck your tail under, scoop your abdominals, squeeze your glutes, draw in the belly button and look between your knees, stretching out the back of the rib cage. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Back to our long neutral line. Now we're going to reach the right hand forward so it's fully extended and then drop the elbow. Bring the other elbow to match it. Fingertips face forward. Elbows are directly under shoulders. Pull the belly into our long neutral line. And then when you're ready, send your right leg back. Send your left leg back. Now the hips will be lifted a little bit, so you need to use your shoulder strength and control to lower those hips and come into your elbow plank. Keep pushing those elbows in the floor, squeezing the glutes, spreading the shoulders wide. Relax the neck. Try not to look forward and stretch the front of the neck or look under and flex through the front of the spine. You want to keep everything long and strong and supported and stable, and breathe. If you need to, drop your knees. One more inhale, and on your exhale, drop your right knee. Drop your left knee, uncurl your feet, and slide yourself back into your child's pose. Breathe into both sides of your rib cage and the back of your rib cage in this child's pose. And then on your exhale, draw your belly away from your thighs, rounding through the spine, coming so you're seated on the back of your heels. Now we're going to do some Pilates push-ups. So bring your hands to the floor, curl your toes under, and then lift your knees away from the floor and stand up tall. Get your feet hip distance, stand up really nice and tall, relax the shoulders, and then nod your chin and begin to curl your spine forward, coming all the way into a forward fold. Soften the knees, bring your hands so they touch the floor, and then walk them out till you come into your plank. From here, bend your elbows and we go down slow. 3, 2, 1, push away in 1. Pike the hips, draw the belly in, walk your hands back towards your feet into a forward fold, and then roll the spine away from the floor till you come standing on top of your ankles again. One more time, nod the chin, Roll the spine down one vertebrae at a time. Soften the knees, touch the floor. Look forward and walk out to your plank. Fingertips face forward. Drop your knees if you need to. Bend those elbows. 4, 3, 2, 1. Push away. Pike the hips, pull the belly in, walk the hands back to the feet, drop those heels in your forward fold, roll the spine away from the floor, one vertebrae at a time, shoulders away from the ears, lengthen up to your standing neutral spine. Last time, nod that chin, roll it down. Pull the navel in, keep the weight perpendicular to the floor as long as you can, and then soften the knees, look forward, walk out to your plank, hands under shoulders, even if your knees are dropped, and drop it down. 4, 3, 2, push away. Walk it back in, keeping the hips as still as possible. Come into that forward fold. Roll the spine up. One vertebrae at a time. Lengthening all the way up to standing. Nod your chin. All the way, rolling it down. Soften the knees. Walk the hands out to your plank, and then drop your right knee, drop your left knee, toes together, push yourself back into your child's pose. Just take a minute to fold completely in this child's pose. And breathe into both sides of your waistline, reaching your fingertips forward. And then push into the hands, lift the chest away from the floor. We're going to come into puppy pose. So you're going to lift your hips, separate your feet so that they are hip to shoulder distance, and then reach your hands forward to that long line, keeping your spine long. Bend your elbows, send your hip bones up to the sky, and then try and bring your chest closer towards the floor. So you lift your elbows and bring your chest towards the floor. If that doesn't feel good for you, keep those elbows down. Do a modified sort of dolphin puppy stretch, but you want your hips to be high. If that still doesn't feel good for you, by all means come to an extended child's pose where your hips are on your heels and you're looking towards your fingers. Otherwise, we're trying to stretch up the front of the chest, the shoulders. And then bring the hands in a little bit, hips to the heels. We're going to walk our hands over to the right side and pull the left hand as far to the right as you can. Your right side of your rib cage is over the right side of the thigh, and your left side of your rib cage is over the left side of the right thigh, or the inner right thigh. You should feel this really nice deep stretch all down the left side of the body. And then relax that. Inhale, come into center, stretch forward, look to your hands, lengthen both sides of your waistline. And then walk your hands over to the left side. Reach that right hand really far away from the right side of the body, so you're trying to twist towards the left. Feel that nice deep stretch down the whole right side of the body. Left rib cage is on the outside of the thigh, right rib cage on the inside of the thigh. Then soft release, walk back into center. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, roll your belly away from your thighs. Come so you're seated on top of your heels. And then push into the glutes till you come up on your knees. Now you can bring your toes together or keep them separated for this. We're going to do some thigh stretches. So make your body nice and long. Pull your glutes down towards your heels and really stack that weight on top of your knees. And then you're going to float your hands up to shoulder height and turn your palms to face the floor. Now maintain this length in the whole spine. Pull your shoulders away from your ears, engage your lats, and then just hinge back a little bit, keeping the body nice and still as a board, stretching out the front of the thighs, really working through the glutes, and then come back up, stacked on top of the knees. Again, inhale, hinge it back, stretching out those thighs. Exhale, back into center. Inhale, hinge it back. Exhale, back into center. One more time for me. Hinge it back. And center. And then fold at the hips till you come back to your 4-point kneeling. Tuck the toes under, push your hips up to the ceiling, and come into your elephant pose, or as we know it, down dog in yoga. Pushing those heels towards the floor, stretching the front of the chest towards the front of the thighs. the front of the thighs towards the back of the room, and your heels might not touch the floor, that's okay. Just think about that length that you want to create in your body. And then soften the knees, look to the hands, start to walk your feet forward till they're just behind your hands. And then just let the body hang in a forward fold. Bring your hands inside of the elbows. Let the head hang heavy. Maybe sway side to side, stretching out the hamstrings, but really focusing on letting the torso be heavy so you decompress in the spine. And breathe. Maybe here, take that time to focus on inhaling into the sides of the rib cage. And exhaling, drawing the rib cage down and in. One more time, inhale into the rib cage. And exhale, drawing it down and in. On your next inhale, release your hands and exhale, roll your spine away from the floor. Soften the knees, stack the pelvis over top of the ankles, and then lengthen the spine up to your neutral standing position. Roll your shoulders down and back. Lift your hands up towards the ceiling. Palms are facing each other, but shoulders away from the ears. And then peel your heels away from the floor. Find your balance, your strength, your stability. And then circle the hands out wide as you lower the heels to the floor. And you're done. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's one of my favorite Pilates sequences for creating strength in the body. We worked the core, we worked the arms, we worked the thighs, we worked the glutes. So basically head to toe, Pilates strong. I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you again.